Welcome! E aí, galera, beleza? Bem-vindo à nossa comunidade.
Welcome to our community.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC here. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be ranking all of the heroes in the game with our opinion. So this is going to vary wildly between people. So the tiers that I have for us is the S tier. So if they're in the S tier, that means that they are completely broken, or they are overpowered in some way, or they're going to hit a certain point in the game where they just blow up and take over. It might not just be in damage, but it's just they are so impactful. They are just so impactful that you either tailor your gameplay all about them or how to counter them, or they just do everything. So that's the S tier. A tier means like they're really, really good. Absolutely amazing. Maybe not quite as impactful as the S tier. B means that they're kind of okay, not really, they could use some love. And C tier is just straight up unusable, unplayable. For the rules, this is only on what the hero offers and has nothing to do with being on race. So what I mean by that is race-specific heroes are obviously S class for their race. So if you're playing if you're playing humans, obviously Avalon is going to be the most important hero for that race. If you're playing Lich, Gazul is obviously going to be super huge, but if you're anything but Lich, then Gazul is completely useless. So we're going to try and do this without any race in mind. So race-specific heroes are in their own category. Please remember that. Race-specific heroes are in their own category. They are S-class for their specific race, which makes doing this really, really hard. They can still rank poorly and still be a must-use, so even if they aren't the most impactful thing, but we have to have them out there anyways, then, that's okay. We must fill all the heroes out there, and it's our opinions and our opinions only. So with that, we are going to jump on in, and tomorrow we should hopefully have this done with Taint as well, and hashtag Toby Nation, I believe, will be doing this as well. So we're going to start off with all of the free heroes first. So the very first hero that I have that I'm going to put out there is actually going to be Avalon. And I'm going to put Avalon in the A class. So the reason why I'm going with Avalon in the A class is because I think Warhorn is huge for everybody out there. I also think that for Dragon's Abyss, he's huge regardless of what race you are, although you should go to human if you're using Avalon in the Dragon's Abyss. His Warhorn's huge. I think Avalon is overall a really, really good hero. Of course, he's completely free to play. And I should probably mention that this is early and mid game only. For late game, we'll have Toby and Taint sharing their opinions. So the next one that I'm going to put out there is going to be Avril, and I'm torn. I wish I could put her like between A and B. I feel like if I put her in B, I'm just going to upset so many people, and people will just stop watching right now. But I truly don't think that she deserves to be an A. So we are going to go with B for early and mid game. So early and mid game, this is prior to getting Hero Mastery. Yes, she's useful for the Blizzard, but there's going to be so many other heroes I'd much rather use and focus on. She can do some good wall damage, but for early and mid game, prior to getting like the tier 8 Arcane, she's okay. She's nothing special at that point in time. She definitely needs some Prism love. She needs some Hero Mastery and everything else in order to become that broken Avril that we all want. So I bet you if you watch Taint and Toby's for the late game review of the hero tiers, I bet you Avril will be higher. The next hero is also a free hero. This is going to be Rufio, and I'm just going to put Rufio up here in the S tier. Even early on, as long as he has the Leo's Pride, the dude is going to do so much damage. It's pretty wild. As soon as you get the prisms on him with a True Emerald as well for wave power, and then the Hero Masteries, Arcane 4 and everything else, he just blows up so much more. Rufio, clearly S ranked, regardless of where you are in the game. Must have Leo's Pride. The True Emerald Prism will help out, and Hero Mastery will just take him further and further. But he's already super strong at the beginning portion of the game. Next is going to actually be Vega. I'm going to put Vega down here next to Avril. So most armies out there, actually every army can benefit from heal in some way. Lich just might not want to use Scorpions. But I just she's good, but not great early in mid game. She has her uses, but anything that deals any sort of heavy damage that's fast, Vega will just kind of fall off pretty quickly. The next one is going to be Mako. Poor Mako. There was a day and age where I loved Mako more than anything else. So Mako for me right now, even with the Swiftblade Dagger and some critical increase stuff, him being maxed out level for my castle level, I don't really get anything out of him. I don't really get anything special. He helps me with the hero trials on a daily basis, but other than that, I just don't see it with Mako. He needs some TLC. He needs some love. Maybe late game, some Prism stuff might help him out. But for right now, where I am in the game, early and mid game, he doesn't offer enough. I'm also going to put Gazul in the B range. So Gazul is one of those characters. If you are Lich, then of course he should be up here in the S range. If you are anything else besides Lich, you're just not going to use him. So that's kind of why he's in the B. I really want to put him in the C, but then all the Lich players would be freaking out. So I'll settle with you and go with the B class. The next one that I have is Raxius, and all these are still free heroes, by the way. So for Raxius, I think Raxius is amazing. So early in mid-game, you're not going to necessarily have a 3-star Hourglass, so he's not going to be insanely broken, but he's going to help out tremendously with his lanterns. As soon as you get the Mantra Beads, he really starts to take off. Pretty much regardless of your race, Raxius can benefit you through his lanterns. They increase damage, they increase attack speed. All of that stuff really does add up and matter. Again, especially once he starts getting the Hourglass and or the Mantra Beads, he's just going to take off and be a huge hero. For the next one, this one is also a no-brainer for Overpowered Heroes. It is going to be Nora. So we have Nora up there with Rufio. Nora will take over the game as soon as she gets a True Ruby. Even before she gets a True Ruby, because of her rework, she is legit just insane. You get her at Void 80 in early game, mid game, all of that type of stuff. She is massive. She's a hero. You set her and forget her, and she's just going to pay you back in dividends forever. So for the next one, I think we're going to go with Virian, who's a free hero, and we're going to put him in the A category. So Virian will actually help out a lot of races because of the moral. Pretty much because he offers damage reduction whenever anything has a moral increase, so that's huge. He's also super useful for the Dragon's Abyss, regardless of what race you are. Again, switch to human so you can get the research bonuses as you do that. And for early on in the game, he is a really, really good tank. He's got a self-heal, he has bubble. He's kind of a complete hero on his own. So the next hero, oh man, I feel bad for this one. This hero, I love, but he definitely needs some more. So I'm actually going to put Grims down in the C. So Grims is actually a hero I'm probably going to deploy in every battle, but he falls off pretty heavily with his usefulness. So yes, he is useful for ammo. If you are Dwarf, then of course he's going to be S tier for Dwarf. Of course, that's no brainer. If you're using Jax, yes, of course, Grimm's is really important. However, the reason why I put him in the C is because I hope that he gets some buffs in the future and maybe some skill reworks. The Siege Mastery skill falls off very heavily later on in the game. Same thing with tanks. That means straight up 2 of his skills aren't super useful. Suppressing Fire. Let me know the last time you've been maxed out level and Suppressing Fire has made any difference, if you even have it skilled. So half of his skills really aren't even useful to begin with. His ammo stuff, super useful to support other ammo users. However, without that one little thing, he doesn't really offer anything. Next, we have Gan. I'm going to put Gan... This is tough because I kind of want to put Gan up here because he's so huge for your dragon. But I think we are going to put Gan in the A category. Gan, useful by everybody. He's our last free hero that we have to add. So with Gan, he is a must-have, must-use every fight that you deploy a dragon. He's also huge for Lich if they use Scorpions and Sylph as always, because all of their stuff besides the Watchers are magical creatures, and he offers a ton for them. His Earthquake is huge. He heals the dragon. He gives your dragon an insane amount of health. I think all that together, he's massive. For the next hero, oh man, I feel bad with this one because I do love the hero, but I'm actually going to put Cleo down here in the C. So I do actually think that she can be useful early and mid game. However, unless you're Lich or I wouldn't even get her. She would probably be one of the last heroes that I get. I think the Onyx Dragon by itself replaces the usefulness of Cleo early on in the game. Her CC is there. I don't know. Late game, she might have made a huge comeback for CC of troops. So I have no idea with that aspect. I see too many other skills to use than to use her active skill with the Black Hole. Yes, she does offer a lot of magic for your army. I just don't really see her... I don't see a time or a place where I would be so motivated to using her, or I would not want to spend any money on trying to acquire her. So that's how come I kind of have to put her down there. This next hero, Ophidia. She's definitely at S tier. Early and mid game, as soon as you go to Drake for the first time and you get Ring of Ragnir, you get the 3-piece dragon set. You throw that on Ophidia with the Ring of Ragnir, you're just going to straight up kill everything on the battlefield. It's beautiful. It's insanely overpowered. It's beautiful. I love it. Even after that, once you get a higher star codex, throwing the codex on her, that's still going to do a ton of damage. The usefulness of her strategically taking out the backline is massive. The other thing is, with her Pagan Curse, that's huge. Don't ever underestimate the power of Pagan Curse in lowering the magic resistance of your enemies. That is so important. It's huge. This next one, oh man, this next one breaks my heart. Or it's going to cause a lot of controversy. Let's cause controversy. Why don't we? I'm going to put Jax up in the S tier. And remember, we are doing early and mid game. Tane and Toby will take care of the late game. Early on, Jax is amazing. Jax is up there with Bazrix. He does so much damage early on. I can't deny it. I have some fights where he does more damage than Bazrix. Usually Bazrix does more damage, but he's just phenomenal early on. I am biased because there's so much nostalgia that's tied into Jax with me. So I can't let him go. I have to put him up in the S tier. Realistically, he's probably in the A tier, but early game, he really is super strong. So I can't let that one go. The next one, the world's greatest tank. I'm going to put Solaris down in this B section. So the reason why I'm putting Solaris down in the B section is because, yes, he can tank a bunch, but that's about it. He doesn't really do too much more other than that, especially early and mid game. There are many other heroes to prioritize early on. I don't see him as being one of them. I think going for more damage dealing type of heroes would be better. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think his place to shine is early game. So because of that, I will put him in the B section. This next one, again, from the last time I was low leveled, it was a huge hero, but now it's utterly useless. Rose. I have to put Rose down in the C. She needs some buff. She needs some work. She, once upon a time, was really, really good, but since then, she's fallen off quite a bit. The next one is actually going to join with Rose down here, and that's going to be Sprig. Sprig needs a lot of love. Of course, if you're Sylph, he can be super useful. It's just he needs a lot of love, and I don't see him as being worthwhile early on at all. He's not a bad concept or design or anything like that. He doesn't do it. It's kind of like Mako. He suffers from some of the same issues as Mako. Very, very similar concept as far as the hero. This next one is actually going in A tier. Is Flores. Flores, probably the best supportive unit in the game. She offers so much to assist another hero out. I would put her up in probably the S category if I was doing this for late game, or like if you have all 5-star artifacts and stuff like that. Flores is huge, I believe. Now, these next couple. All right, I'm not going to do the next couple all at once. Fenris. Fenris early and mid game is a complete monster. I know late game it might look totally different, but early and mid game, if you put him into that direwolf form, he will go to the back line. So early on, remember, you don't have Arcane 4 on Rufio, you don't have your prisms until cast level 25, and you might not even have a true emerald at cast level 25 to even get the wave power. Fenris is really the backline killer. He's the king of it early on in the game. Rufio can absolutely do a bunch of damage, but Fenris, you hit the direwolf form, he goes to direwolf with the thick hide and everything else. He will just run to the enemy's backline and legit just kill everything. Nothing back there has super high artifacts to really protect them. The ranged units early on in the game are not strong enough to kill Fenris. Fenris is a beast early on in the game. The next hero, oh man, this one's tough. So again, this one's hard. So I'm actually going to put Yip in the A section. So I think Yip's good. Of course, for races, he's a race-specific hero. So humans in Rockin', Sylph, I guess, if they use Watchers. Yes, he's a race-specific hero, but what he does offer you is quite a bit. So Tailwind alone is huge because even if you aren't those races, it offers a debuff. He will pass on the research from General Sage, and he shouldn't die super easily as opposed to some of the other generals out there or other sages. So he's far more useful than Rose, even using him without human or Rockin'. And the other thing is with his enlightenment, he's going to help you early and mid game so much, regardless of your race, accumulate more health overall. Now the next one that we're going to do is going to be, this one's definitely going up here. Talk, no matter what level you are, where you are in the game, Talk is a huge hero with prolific trance. He's a huge hero with Fenji mastery. Talk is just a massive hero. He can also put out black holes, so he's the whole package. Maybe I like Talk too much. Let me know in the comment section below. This next one, oh man, this next one hurts me a lot too. But I gotta do it. Until Baen gets a buff for his Viking Chieftain, he will forever be in C. He needs a buff to Viking Chieftain. So here's the reality with Baen. I think maybe I should bring him up. Okay, yeah, let's bring Baen up. I think Baen realistically belongs in the B. He's not a horrible tank. He does offer a lot of stamina. He's not bad. He's just not good. Early and mid game, there's too many other things that I would much rather have. And speaking of other things that I'd much rather have, this one right here is obviously a no-brainer. We are putting Bazrex up in the S tier. So Bazrex up in the S tier. This one's no-brainer. Is Bazrex. He is ridiculously good. And with that as well, this is another really, really tough one. Because I kind of... there is not a right answer. I'm going to go with Cezao in the A tier. I think there's a case to be made for Cezao to be in the S tier, absolutely early in mid game. He can put out a bunch of damage. However, I think that he really needs the Shuriken artifact or whatever to really, really shine through. He is a really huge hero. Early in mid game, like if it came down to it, I'd rather have a Rufio than a Cezao. I'd rather have a Nora than a Cezao. I'd rather have Ophidia than a Cezao. I'd rather have Jax. I'd rather have Fenris because Fenris will just straight up kill him in direwolf form. Talk is probably one of the best supportive heroes out there, and I'd rather have a Bazrex than a Cezao. So I think the A tier, as much as it hurts, is probably appropriate for him. The next one is another hero that you have to pay for or get from the hero chest. This is a race-specific one, so for their specific race, of course, they're in S tier. But I would put Gafgar down here in the B. So there's nothing wrong with Gafgar. Gafgar is completely fine. I just don't think that he's as huge or impactful as other heroes early and mid-game. So remember, early and mid-game, heroes can't really tank super well. You're missing a ton of hero research, like your Gladiator and Paladin research. Prisms, you don't have many of them. You're behind on Prisms compared to people at late game. So Gafgar for Dwarfs, absolutely. You're going to use him every fight, every time you deploy Max or anything like that. But overall, as a hero, I just don't think his role is necessarily there because the Paladins and Gladiators can't quite tank super well yet, outside of Belrog. Which I just realized I'm actually missing Belrog. So speaking of tankiness and everything else, I do have to... After I just said all that with Gafgar, I do have to put Danji in the A tier. I do think Danji is still good. If you have your Danji, Danji's able to do damage. He's not a through and through tank. He can tank some damage, but he is a damage dealer and a debuffer as well. Slate CC. So I think because of all of those attributes, I think Danji is huge. Early in mid game, I think he can just plow right through packs of swords real quick. If anybody has anything that can collapse moral, like spears or monks or something crazy like that, miners, he's just going to blow a hole right through them. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Next, now this one, again, I might be a little biased with this one. I have to put Elena up in the S tier. I think the magic resist is super huge. Elena is one of those heroes where you forget about your appreciation of that hero until you don't have her. You get so used to having Elena and having like 60% magic resist or whatever it is. I think mine right now is like level 30 and I have 45 or 50% magic resist. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's huge. So... if you're a late game player and you're watching this, try not using your Elena for a while and go back to remembering what life was like without Elena. It's really hard. It's really difficult. So I think Elena is one of those heroes that we can easily forget about how much we appreciate her until we don't have her. This next one, hopefully I don't hurt too many people's feelings, but we also have Volari. I'm putting her down in the C. I just don't see any use of Volari at this point in time. I just don't see it. But that's just me. Next, we have Linella. So I'm going to put Linella down. I'm putting her in the B tier. So she's okay. She's not super good. She's not super bad. She is a Sylph hero. So if you're Sylph, you'll probably be more interested in her than other races. She does offer CC. She does have some protective stuff with jumping back. But I just, again, if I compare her to any of the A heroes, I'd rather get Cezao before her. I'd much rather get Yip or Flores or Gan or Danji before Linella. Lunella is not bad. She's just not great. She's just good. And this next one's hard too, because this is Tierden, and for Tierden, you could easily make the argument between A and B. Solely since we're doing early and mid game, I'm going to put her in B, just because there's going to be other heroes that you are going to want to get. Tierden is huge. You're going to want Tierden. But again, your heroes aren't going to have enough research like your Glads and Paladins. Your heroes aren't going to have enough research to really withstand, tanking for you for a while. So, because of that, I'm going to put Tierden in the B. Again, she's not bad. You want Tierden. You want all of these heroes. It's just a matter of what heroes are really good early and mid game. So with that, I think I am missing Belrog. So if I had Belrog, let me see if I can quickly make a Belrog while I talk with you guys. Belrog is actually a pretty decent tank. Oh my god, this is going to be so ghetto. Belrog is a pretty decent tank, and because of that, and with his overall, and he's free, I would probably put Belrog, if I had to choose, I would probably put him in. He's probably the only tank that I would put in for the A, and that's mostly because of the overall. That blue thing, that's the blue Smurf, that's Belrog. The last hero that I have is Myra. I have not used Myra before, so I can't share my experience with Myra. And it's not fair for me to totally speculate. So this is what I came up with for my hero tier ranking. So we have, for our overpowered early and mid-game heroes, we have Rufio and Nora, which are both free. Those ones are no-brainers. I did include Ophidia because the second she gets Ring of Rhaenyra with the 3 dragon armor pieces, like mid-game, oh my god. Jax, he's still awesome. He can put out, depending on the fight and the situations, he can still out-damage Bazrex. Fenris, ultimate backline killer. Talk, amazing support. Bazrex, because he's Bazrex and just no matter what, insane damage. Elena, because it's easy to appreciate Elena. For the A tier, we have Avalon, Raxius, Virion, Gan, Flores, Yip, Cezao, Denchi, and the blue Smurf, Belrog. For the B tier, meaning B tier is fine. They're not bad heroes. They just, they could use a little bit of love. And depending on your race, so like for Lich, of course, Gazul is going to be an S. But we have Avril. Her Blizzard is useful. It's just not, it's not anything over the top. Vega, her healing's good. It's really not bad, but it's nothing special. And I guess because she's missing that little bit of specialness, she's in the B. You could argue for her to go up to the A. We have Gazul, Solaris, Baen, Gafgar, Linella, and Tierden. Most of these heroes, those Paladins and Gladiators, is because Paladins and Gladiators aren't super big in the game yet until you can get the hero research going. For heroes that need buffs or reworks, we have Mako, obviously. We have Grims. And Grims, again, he's not a bad hero if you're using anything with ammo. He's a must-use if you're using ammo. However, he just doesn't... most of his skills are unusable, especially as you progress through the game. Cleo, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with Cleo. It's just over time she's kind of phased out a little bit. I don't know. She might make a comeback. I've used 2 Cleos in the past and had success. I'm just feeling like I would rather have any of the heroes up here, minus Cezao personally, than have a Cleo. Rose, same thoughts as Cleo, and Sprig and Valari. Again, I'd rather have any heroes above them than Sprig or Valari. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Am I far off? Am I on point? Let me know your thoughts. Tomorrow we'll have Tane on. Tane will go through this for a end game perspective, and hashtag Toby Nation should be doing it as well. And yeah, with that, guys, smash the thumbs up button. Seriously, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to have a discussion around this because there is not a one-size-fits-all. These are just my thoughts. That's all that it is. With that, like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.